Okay, we are on the air.
I'm not seeing it. Okay, I don't see it yet.
All right, let me know. Refresh.
Yeah. Yep, there you are.
Okay, great. All right, so we ready to roll? Okay. So welcome. We're really happy for everybody who's joining us here today for the introductory call for Honoring Persephone, a mythic journey to heal the mother-daughter wound. So my name is Sarah Hoskin-Clymer, and I have co-created this with my partner here, Wendelin Bartley, who's here on the little screen right now. We are going to be co-presenting this call for the next hour. Our overview is to provide you with both an experiential process that will be similar to what we will be using during our 7-day mythic journey, but also to give you a chance to answer questions, have questions and answers, and give you an overview of what this is about and how it came to be. So I do want to just let you know that Wen has a cough and a cold, so won't be speaking probably as much as normal, and I may be filling in for her at times, but our intention is that she gets to show up fully and that the cough just disappears for the next hour. So welcome everybody. We see that we have 7 viewers right now. Thank you to all of you for being here with us. We're really excited to be diving in and offering this journey. I just want to give, okay, so what we're first of all going to do is Wenda's going to lead us in an invocation and a sounding warm-up. So Wenda, are you ready to go with that?
Hi. Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yes, I'm going to talk very slowly and low in my body just so that I won't trigger a cough. So, just inviting you to sit with your seat fully grounded in your body fully grounded in your seat, your feet on the floor. I'm just taking a few deep breaths. Just deep inhales and exhales. And as we begin, knowing that it is in part this journey with Persephone is in part a journey with ourselves and our voices and our bodies. So we begin by connecting with our body and our breath. And through this alignment with breath and body, I invite you to now descend deeper through your feet into the floor, in through the floor, into the bottom basement of the building you're in, and into the earth. And allow yourself to connect in your imagination with the soil, the roots of the trees that surround the place you're in, the rocks, and the water table. And always doing this through your breath. It's breathing that awareness, that image that you have in your mind up in through the soles of your feet and into your lower belly, and exhale out. Now going a little bit deeper down into the core of the earth. There's lots of layers in between, but just allow yourself to go as deep. And know that in the center of the earth, there's a hot core of fire and the creative energy that sustains life. One of the things that sustains life on this planet. And now I invite you to begin to, on the exhale, making a low, breathy sound. I'll try my best to do this as an example, but just breathing out and keeping your awareness deep in your belly. Whatever sound comes out is totally fine. Let's take one more of those deep breaths. Exhale into a sound, a breathy sound. And in this place, we bring our awareness to, as we're exhaling. I just invite you to keep doing that while I talk. Become aware of all the support of the rock, the trees, the waters, the fire, and then, of course, the air above the ground that you're breathing in, and all these elemental forces of nature. Just while you're making the sound, just being aware of these forces of nature. And as you continue, thinking and imagining any images you may have in your mind of Persephone, or if you don't have any images, just imagining an image of a woman down in the darkness of the earth, in the underworld, and just asking for her presence with you and with us all as we journey today. And then finally, now on the out breath, let's just all make a tone. We'll do 3 breaths on an ah sound. So breathing in, and even though you can't hear each other, we'll just all, if you follow me, then we'll all be toning together. And with this, we really kind of initiate our call. Okay. Now slowly bringing your awareness back to the room inside you, that you're inside of, and gradually open your eyes and welcome back to our call, and Sarah will take over from here.
Thanks, Wend. I needed that too. So feeling much more present and grounded. Thank you. So how did this journey come about, and what has brought us to this? So a little while ago, I came across again a wonderful quote by Marion Woodman, where she says, "Our most crucial job right now is to learn to embody the divine feminine." And for me, I realized that to embody this sacred energy of the divine feminine, to not have or feel any separation toward like receiving and embracing and embodying that energy, that we have to be willing to release and heal anything that separates us from the divine feminine. And I realized that for me, it was this concept of the mother wound that was actually creating a separation, that no matter how much I wanted to embrace the sacred feminine. There was always something that was keeping me separate. And so began a journey of both naming and recognizing the mother wound and creating like what would be the best way to actually heal this wound. And I love another quote by Padma Ayan Prakasha, who wrote Sacred Wounds in Original Innocence. He says, our wounds are our own perfect design, a synchronous sacred pattern that leads us back without fail to our sovereign soul. To our sovereign soul. That just rang out for both of us. And we thought, so we kind of looked at the different ways, the many approaches of healing a wound. There can be a surgical approach, a drug kind of approach, more of an allopathic approach, a psychological, a psychotherapeutic, shamanic journeying, a creative approach, a mythic approach, using sound, using dance, using movement. And we became really inspired, Wendy and I together, to bring together a lot of what we both have done for many years, have focused on in different ways, whether it's through sonic oracle work, whether it's through sacred walking. And we came together and a question came to us. What if a journey inspired by ancient feminine mysteries woven together with mythic story, oracle sounding, sacred walking, along with some other practices, could actually provide you with the powerful means to heal and transform this wound and lead you back to your sovereignty? So that question really is at the heart of these journeys. And what happened was we realized we wanted to go on this journey, that there was something for us, that we were being called to embrace this opportunity. And as we started to work with this, we realized that we could also invite others, you, to come and join us. Because there's one thing doing it on our own, and it would have been wonderful just Wendy and I doing it together, but to open it up and have a community of women who actually wanted to join us in this journey and to support us in all of us diving deeply and creating possibly a template for such a mythic journey could be a really exciting but even more transformational of an experience. So that's a lot of what brought us here to this point today. Another part that came along is, some of you may know that Wendy and I were in Cornwall together back in 2014 leading a pilgrimage. And there are sites, sacred sites and sacred paths in this very remote area of Western Cornwall that have intrigued us and have been calling us back to them. And as we've been exploring and diving into that, what we realized is there is actually a pathway, an ancient alignment between one of the sites in Cornwall called Elsia Well, the ancient goddess well that never was found by the Christian church, never became anything but what it still is today, an ancient goddess sacred well. Well, it's in a powerful alignment with Eleusis in Greece. And Eleusis is where the Eleusinian Mysteries are based. So here's this remote, tiny little site in Cornwall connected in a direct alignment with Eleusis in Greece. That intrigued both of us and got us both really curious about what could be the connection. And part of this is what is inspiring this journey today with Persephone is looking at what did the Eleusinian Mysteries offer to the people thousands of years ago? What was so secret about it? And what is being held in these sacred spiral paths in Cornwall today? And as we were looking at this more closely, we realized that there's actually the lesser mysteries and greater mysteries of the Eleusinian Mysteries. The lesser mysteries is scheduled for February 29th through March 6th. And we realized that this was yet another synchronicity of us diving in, just a second, to this journey. Hold on. I can't unmute you. This is very odd. Hold on.
I unmuted myself. I can't hear you.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Did you want to say something? It looked like you wanted
No.
to add something.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't. Oh,
You look like you did.
Okay, no, I didn't. I think every time I cough, it picks up the fact that I'm trying to say something. But I will add, for those of you not familiar what these are all about, they were focused on the myth of Demeter and Persephone. And every year, the Mysteries was an initiation rite where people went down into, and it took place over 9 or 10 days. And at the heart of these mysteries was the opportunity to see the kind of the mystery of life. And apparently after people experienced the mysteries, they no longer feared death. And it was also so incredibly important that no one reveal what happened during the mysteries. That if you did, you would be killed. So we don't have a huge doc. So there actually is not much information. There's hints here and there in some of the literature as to what actually happened, but the core of it is unknown. But at the other part of the core of it is that there was a dramatic unfoldment of the story of Demeter and Persephone. So myth was very much a part of it. And I visited Eleusis in 2004, and I had mythical experiences there. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that for now. But I just wanted to say that, actually, that was to fill that in.
Good. I'm so glad you did. Thanks. Because what we've been discovering is it feels like that there's actually the essence of these mysteries are somehow held and protected in these sacred spiral paths in Cornwall, which at the heart of it lie this well, Alcea well. And that just became the catalyst, the seed, if you will, for creating the serpent mysteries, and in particular for bringing us and leading us to this journey to honor Persephone today. So Wen, why don't you share a little bit about the creative process that we'll be using?
Okay. So, okay, the creative process. Where are my notes on the creative process? Oh, here they are. Okay. So the creative process that we're going to do today, we're going to do a tiny little bit. I have created what I call a sonic oracle that we're all going to listen to and do a little bit of journeying around. A sonic oracle for me is a way of sounding with the awareness and the wisdom of the earth and tuning into place in particular. It's very much connected to place, whether that's a place in nature, whether that's a sacred site. And some of you who know me know that I did a whole CD on oracle songs that I created from sacred sites in Crete and Malta. So, but sonic oracles are just a way of kind of transmitting the energy that you're feeling in connection to a particular place. And so we're going to experience one of those and do a little bit of journaling around it. So that's what we'll do today. Shall I talk also about the course? I thought that was going to be a bit later, but no.
Or do you want to go into the 7 gates before?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Let me put up the screen share.
Yeah, go up the screen share. Okay, and you need to put yourself back on presentation mode. No? I don't know. Sorry, everybody. This is our first time with this technology, so we're just getting used to it. Google Hangouts on air. So, but anyway, I'm still presenting. Okay, so what we've done is we've there we go. Okay. We're also, the other thing I wanted to say is that as part of our creative process in the course itself, we're going to go through a 7-day journey in order to help you and develop the ability and the experience of doing sonic oracles on your own. And it doesn't matter doesn't matter about your voice. Your voice is a gift that everyone has, and we're going to find ways to tap into that and really experience the magic of your voice. Okay, so we've got this chart here, which is 7 different stages that we'll be going through, and we just wanted to introduce the basics of it, so you can just get an overview of what we're talking about, and how we're going to connect all these different aspects. So, Sarah?
So like so there's 7 days, there's 7 gates. And so what we did is we took some research we had done from different places about the different stages, and we put together a story from what we know about the myths. But what we played with is, what if Persephone actually wasn't abducted by Hades? What if she actually chose this journey? What if she actually wanted some separation and chose to smell the flower as her choice to be herself and to honor her own desires, her own yearnings? And then what we realized is that there's ways that it actually corresponds to the mother wound. And then what became even more apparent and very exciting for us was the connection to Cornwall, and how these 7 major sites actually connected to each of the gates. So there's a way that there's a connection and an alignment between the stage or the gate and what is happening there. The story of Persephone as she descends into the underworld, how that relates to the mother wound, and us separating from the mother and coming into ourselves, into our own sovereignty. And then with the different sites in Cornwall and the energies of these sites and what we have experienced to be the invitation, if you will, from each of these sites. So I don't know if hopefully you can see this on the screen, but so for example, gate 1 is where we acknowledge our longing. I yearn. And this is where Persephone starts to feel her own desire, starts to have this inkling that she may just not be just like her mother Demeter. At this point, she's been the young girl, always at her mother's side, accompanying her mother wherever she goes. But there's something starting to happen. There's like a differentiation or a distinction. We corresponded that with the Mary Maiden Stone Circle in Cornwall, because here are these 19 stones in a circle, and it's called Mary Maidens because these young women dared to sing and dance on a Sunday, and so they were punished by being, frozen in stone for eternity. Well, there's that part of us that we can actually almost like freeze. We're so afraid of our own yearnings and desires. And so there's that longing, that yearning to be creative, that yearning to be expressive, that's caught in those stones at Mary Maiden's Circle. So without going over each gate specifically, you can see that, and I'm going to go and just show you the next page. Whoops, sorry about that. Sorry, one sec, I'm just trying to get to, there we go. Does that bring it up? Yes. Mm-hmm. So this is gate 6 and 7, and so Persephone goes down into the underworld. When she chooses to smell the flower, the earth opens up and she falls in. And while she's in the dark, something happens. Not only does she grieve the loss of her relationship of what was with her mother, but she actually starts to connect with something sacred and vital and alive within herself. So that by gate 7, when she emerges, the emergence, she returns to the upper world, but not as who she was, but as an embodied, empowered woman. We call her the serpent woman. We feel that that term is like the sacred woman who is unto herself, connected to herself and all aspects of herself, so that she is whole and complete within herself, fully engaged with the world. Wen, do you want to add anything to that?
Just to maybe reiterate that I'm going to work out a vocal process to accompany each of these stages, so that we can then go into our voice and experience some of these emotions that may come up, or finding ways of resonating our body and creating a new vibration in our body for our emergence, for our individuation, for our becoming serpent woman, for feeling connected to our core. We can experience these also and actually have an impact in our cellular structure in our bodies and musculature and tissue through the power of sound vibration. So it helps us to really more fully embody the journey that we're going on through working with the voice.
Okay. Wonderful. So that just gives you an idea of the 7 days, the 7 gates. And when do you, I guess it's time to lead us into the Sonic Oracle.
I guess it is. Okay. So what we're going to do, I've created this oracle. It was actually based on, and how I do this is I go to these places, I make recordings I have a digital recorder, but you can use anything. Your phone even can be used, or your iPad. Sometimes I use my iPad. But these particular recordings were made at LCOL, which is one of the sites in Cornwall that we mentioned, that is the special well that has never been discovered, that was not discovered by the church, was not taken over and ascribed to a saint. So that the goddess energy there is very pure. And as we mentioned earlier, there was a connection between LCOL and Eleusis. And in fact, when we were in Eleusis, one of our members of our pilgrimage began sounding and then began speaking. And the words that came out were always, they stayed in my mind, started off with, "Women, weep no more, weep no more." And when I discovered that there was this connection with Eleusis, I was like blown away, because Demeter weeps by the well at the grief of losing her daughter. So in a sense, I felt like Demeter was saying to us, weep no more, women, it's time to rise up, which is, I think, where we're at right now in our times. It's time for women to arise with the rising feminine. So this sonic oracle was made, the recordings were made at LCOL, and I made a short composition out of them, and I will play that for you. So what I ask you to do is we're going to do a short meditation right beforehand, and then I'd like you to have something to write on to, whether it's pen and paper or typing into your computer or however you like to do it. And then after we'll do the meditation, a quick journal prompt, and then I will play the recording. Hopefully it all comes through okay. And then after the oracle completes, it's 4.5 minutes. And after it's over, I will just guide you into doing about a minute or two of journaling. Because I found that after doing the soundings, I start journaling just whatever comes from my experience. And I'm always kind of shocked by what comes out. So that's part of the oracle process too, right? So I'm going to, first of all, screen share and get myself ready. Get your journal material ready. And okay, so so just before we start this, I just like to take you back into that place we were in at the beginning, connecting with your body and your breath. And just ask you to find in your body a place where you feel the disconnection from your own mother. Like, where's that pain? Where does it reside in your body? Or what does it feel like? Just taking a moment and breathing and just scanning your body to see. And when you ask yourself the question, I feel disconnected from my mother, where can you locate that? And now, moving into your journal for a moment, just a quick sentence. In my relationship with my mother, I long for dot, dot, dot. So just take a moment and jot down the first thing that comes to mind. In my relationship with my mother, I long for. Okay. Now I'm going to start the music, and I suggest you listen with your eyes closed, keeping your focus with the sound and your body, and just letting the sound take you on a little journey. You could also move to the music if you'd like. That's perfectly cool. That might also help stir things as well. So either just sitting with your eyes closed in more meditative zone, or moving. It's, as I said, it's about just over 4.5 minutes. Okay. So when you feel ready, just picking up your pen again and writing free form, free flow, whatever came, whatever comes at this moment in time. So just taking another minute. You can always come back to it later.
I think your mic is against your collar.
Ah, thank you. Okay, I know that's an annoying sound. Okay, so just closing, wrapping that up now. And you can always listen to the recording again if you like. And I can also post that file in, you know,
In the event
in our
page.
event page, yes. So you can listen to it without it going through all the Google Hangout system. So it's a bit better recording, but hopefully that was worked for everybody. Okay. So that's just a short example of the kind of one of the ways in which we're going to engage in the creative process during the course, and so we're going to move into now kind of giving more of an outline of the course itself, and as we said earlier, the Eleusinian Mysteries, the lesser mysteries, were the beginning of the process. It happened in March, and the greater mysteries happened in September. Initial mysteries were a purification process. And so what better way than to do it than through a creative process, I figured. Part of what we'll do, as I've mentioned a few times, is we'll do a daily vocal sounding. And then those stages will help you develop your own practice of being a sonic oracle. And another part of the daily creative process will be story writing, so that seeing your story as part of Persephone's story. So taking, one of those stages, like I emerge, I grieve, whatever that process is, and then just reflecting on your own personal life story, and then writing, just a short paragraph about your own story, which you can come back to, of course, as part of the home practice. So we are having we've got quite a vision for a home practice. So we'll be guiding us all through this 1 hour daily call, but of course, there's so much more to do if you have the time for it, and you don't have to. So like whatever level you're able to enter in on is completely fine. But one of the practices that we have, of course, that is important to us is this idea of creating doing walking and going to a local spot. So I think maybe some of you might have seen on the web page where I have posted pictures of a sacred place that I go to in my neighborhood. It's just not very far at all. And I go there somewhat regularly, especially during new moons or dark moons or full moons or equinox, solstice. And I do recordings there and I take photos there. So we're going to encourage you to create your own sacred site area and choose 7 places within that area where that will be aligned with our 7 stages. And since I haven't done that myself, even though I've been to this place that I call the Lilith Sanctuary, it's just a name I've given to it. Going through the 7 stages of Persephone's journey in those 7 different places will be something new for me as well. And so we'll be doing this mapping process and encouraging you to take photos, videos, and then post those in our Facebook group, and any other way in which you have a creative practice, whether that be movement, painting, whatever. We invite you to incorporate your own creative practice into this work. And then Sarah's going to talk a little bit. Sorry, I can feel it coming on. Sarah's going to talk a little bit now about how she created found her sacred sites within a location.
Okay, Wendy, I'm going to put you on mute so you feel free to cough.
Yep.
Okay. So in preparation for this journey, I was wondering, so where am I going to go? Am I going to go to a labyrinth? Like, that's one possible idea, is to find a labyrinth somewhere in your local neighborhood. But I found myself earlier this week being drawn to a park nearby called Chautauqua Park. And I went to a path that I have walked for 29 years. And I went with the intention of, well, what could possibly be 7 of the sacred sites within this sacred place? And there's the main path, and then there's an area which I call the quiet path because it's off of the gravel and it's kind of tucked away. It almost feels a little bit womb-like, not totally, because it's still Rocky Mountain Forest, which is kind of more open and dry and big. But anyway, what happened for me is I found sites and stones and trees and things that, even though I have walked this path for 29 years, many of these sites I had not noticed before. So it's like a whole new level of a whole new world opened up for me. And I was really struck by that when I went with the intention of like exploring and finding these 7 sacred sites, they appeared to me. There was even, I was walking along the path and over to the left, I saw this red stone. I was like, oh, I've never noticed that before. Well, I go over to this stone and it's in a heart shape, lying there flat on the ground, probably about 8 inches thick. And on top of it, somebody had put some other stones. And I was like, so that's been there all this time, and I'm noticing it now. So I'm sharing this story with you out of allow the magic to happen. Choose that place you're drawn to. Let it be close enough so it's not a huge deal to get there, so it's like a reason to not go. But let it call you, and then go there and explore. And you don't have to have the 7 sites chosen out beforehand. It may be that each day the next site appears to you and reveals itself to you. However it is, but give yourself the gift of time out of nature, and without even like having to go for a walk. Like, that's how usually I get outside, is I'm going for a walk and getting exercise. Well, what if you just give yourself this time out of this experience to go into nature and explore, and to actually experience something that's been right underneath your nose, right underneath your awareness all this time, that perhaps you hadn't noticed before. The other part of that is there's actually a group of stones that I call a womb stone, a big, probably about a 5 foot and a tall and 7 foot around, and like 7 foot in diameter. That's what I used as my starting place, because I knew that's what called me into it, and I knew I wanted to start there in the womb. So however it works for you, but we feel like this is a really it's just like an opportunity to give yourself something different, because as we have these what we've designed it as is we're going to have these daily teleconference calls first thing in the morning, starting at 7 a.m. Pacific time, which would be 10 a.m. Eastern time. We realize for Europe and Great Britain, it is later in the day. We're limiting those calls to an hour. If you can't make those live, we will be recording them, so you can get on the calls that way. From that, we will each day be spending that hour on that day's gate, whether it's I yearn, I choose, whichever one. We're going to explore it fully. And then you get to go out and experience that energy with sound, with sacred walking, with being out in nature, with connecting to whether it's a stone or a tree or the land, and see what emerges for you, because we're actually going to be taking this journey with Persephone and with each other, but independently, so that you're going to have this opportunity to go down, to descend, to connect, and to emerge. That is the whole intention of this journey, is that it creates the container and actually holds you and takes you through the process from the first gate all the way through the seventh gate. So that's why we've set it up daily like this. So it's one call a day. And we recognize that this is a commitment. I just, for both of us, want to say that. And I know for us, we're like, there's something here. There's an opportunity in this process that we're both really excited to explore. What is that? What is possible from fully engaging with this and taking ourselves through this journey? Like, for me, I say, what if this is a way to heal my mother wound in a way that kind of, in a sense, almost comes in through a different doorway? It's not coming at me, confronting it head on, but it's bringing it in through a different door that's allowing all these different levels of my being to work with this in a different way, in a more holistic way, if you will, so that a more multidimensional way, so that by March 6th, and as we're coming through into that new week, that there will be a profound shift, a profound difference in my being and in your being that comes as a result of engaging with this process. So I think that we've covered most of the specifics around what the journey is. We're going to open this up for question and answer in a few minutes. So if you have questions, we can certainly go over them. Also, just to let you know about the cost, we've made this journey very reasonable, as it is our first time. We're saying it's $49 US or 59 Canadian dollars. So whether you're in the US or Canada or even in Europe, what we're asking is you can go to our website at serpentmysteries.com. You can actually oh, I need to put myself in presenter mode. Sorry about that, everybody. We were watching Wend. Is that, so what you'll do is you can go to serpentmysteries.com. You can go to the button that says register here, join us here, and then it will take you to a page where you'll sign up. You'll let us know which country you're from, and then depending on your location, either Wend or I will send you a PayPal invoice. So it's very easy, it's very affordable, and we're just really feeling this groundswell of support about this journey. I just feel like there's something about recognizing the need to heal the mother wound, both perhaps with our own mothers, perhaps with the cosmic mother, perhaps with the earth mother. And in healing that we can actually experience a level of connection and embodiment with the sacred divine feminine that we only dreamed was possible. That's really what's at the bottom line of this for me. So what we'd like to do now, is there anything else actually, Wendy, you want to add right now?
No, I think that's good, Sarah. Just that if people would like to, we're going to do Q&A right now. So if people would like to come on the screen and the camera, or even just on audio, and speak to us directly, could you, we have some email addresses of some people, but we need to add you as a participant. That's the way this works. So if you could just let us know through the chat window and that you'd like to come on the screen, then we can add you as a participant. But another way to ask a question is just to type it in on the Q&A, the Q&A,
Yeah.
which
And then we can just answer your question on
yeah.
like online that way too. However you would like to do it, we'd love to have you join us. And we totally understand that sometimes it's just nice to sit back and not worry about being seen on screen. So we'd love to answer any questions. We hope that what we shared is clear. So the journey does begin this Monday morning, February 29th. And it will be each morning for next week, taking us through to Sunday morning. And then our intention is to have once we complete through Gate 7, is to join together on March 8th, which is actually International Women's Day, and to celebrate the completion of the journey and our coming into our sovereign selves. So, yeah, it's hopefully, as we said, quite straightforward with that. So at this point, it doesn't look like we're having any questions. Wen, anything else you want to add?
Or if you're having trouble figuring out the whole chat Q&A business, you can also send us something in Facebook too.
Yeah.
That's another way.
I just got on Facebook, so if there's anything anybody wants to add,
yeah, okay,
please do that.
So, yeah, anything else to add? Well, I think for me, I'm just really excited about this, is because for a long time I've had this desire to go through a process like this with a group of people online, where, especially since after meeting Sarah and doing the pilgrimage we did in 2014, the idea of being able to convert something like that into a virtual experience, essentially, but through an online program, but also extending that into our local environment and engaging in the way in which we're envisioning being able to do that with the process of us each choosing our own location that we go to. So I'm just really excited about what can emerge. I have no idea. So it's really, for us, it's a big risk, and going into the unknown and learning somewhat new technologies. Like, so we'll see how this Google Hangouts works, and if it doesn't work, we'll find something else. And but we're really just being open to what is emerging almost on a daily basis. What is next? What's the next step?
Well, thank you. Somebody just wrote, no questions, your way of presenting. This is very clear and inviting. I will sign up for sure. Looking forward to it. So thank you so much, whoever that is. We actually don't know who that is who wrote that, but just so appreciate your comment. One thing I realized I wanted to add is, so what if next week's timing doesn't work for you? And you're like, God, I'm feeling really drawn, but like not next week. Okay, there's a few things there. One is that we are going to record the calls. And if you sign up for this course, you will have the recordings of these calls for whenever is your right time to do this journey. So know that if the timing doesn't quite work, that's okay. That's okay. We're excited to align with this timing, because it actually does align with the lesser mysteries of the Eleusinian Mysteries, and we feel like that was such a fun and unexpected synchronicity that's what really kind of pushed us to jump into this, like to kind of move through our hesitations and really go for it. So here we are. So thank you so much for who posted that comment. It's nice to know that it works. So, it was Teresa. Sorry, your name was below the little thingy on there. So yes, thanks, Teresa. Really appreciate it. So so I guess in terms of that, it's probably getting time for us to close. When it sounded like you probably said what you needed to say. Is there anything else you just want to add as we get ready to complete our call?
Interesting. Yeah, well, again, any feedback that you might want to send to us on things that work for you, especially the technical issues, well, not especially, but that's good to know for us. So please feel free to give us any kind of feedback. Yeah, if you have any, we're always open for questions. If you have any other questions about the content, we'll be happy to answer those questions. And as I mentioned, if you go to our website, serpentmysteries.com, and on the mapping link, the first page that comes up, you will see how I've mapped my 7 sites, and or not mapped them, but well, yes, I did. I put a little Google map at the bottom. But also how I created different, I've put in pictures of the different seasons, which is to me kind of exciting to see how things in nature shift the place, shift, yeah, it's quite remarkable to see the same place in winter as in summer. It's totally different, totally different. Yeah. So if you want to sort of just see how that works, and Sarah's also put up the 7 sites of Cornwall, again in the seven gateways, and also a little map as to where they're located in Cornwall.
Good, thanks. Yeah, because the mapping is actually a really fun part of this creative process, that mapping through pictures, mapping through sound, mapping through videos, mapping, you could even have a notebook with different pages that you journal in or draw, and there's so many different ways, and I feel like it's just another part of this creative process that will take us, you know, even though there's a map, we're still going to get to journey into the unknown and into the unexpected and emerge out, emerge as a different person out the other end. So thanks, Wendy. Yeah, I think that mapping part is a really big part of this. So I'm going to just share something really quickly as we close. Right before the call, a really dear Facebook friend of mine actually sent me a painting of hers of Persephone. And this is Persephone Returns. I hope you can see it. When can you see it?
Just a second.
Wait. Let me just see if I got it. Yeah, I got it up there. Good. So I know it's not very big, but I wanted to share this with you because as I looked at her painting, I saw these crystal clear eyes that just so spoke to me of this is why we're doing this journey, is to become and embody the sovereign goddess that we each are. And I just feel that that painting holds that possibility and that invitation for each of us. So that's why I'm really excited to bring it up here at the very end, because I literally received it this morning from Baraka, and it's posted on our Facebook page if you want to go and take a more careful look at it. But it's just a beautiful painting, and her beauty and her power and her just embodiment resonates, and it just shines out through her eyes. So if you're wondering why would I do this, I think that a picture paints 1,000 words, or however that phrase goes, and I feel like that painting just speaks it all for me. So as we're coming to the top of the hour, let me just take off the screen sharing now. Whoop, okay, there we go. I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been on this call with us. Like Wen said, we would love some feedback, and when you'll post the Alcea sounding on the Facebook page so that you can have another listen to it, because it's a powerful piece. It actually drew me right back to this well that has given me magical experiences every time I've been there. And so for the sounding to create that same experience in me again was really just a profound experience in just 4 minutes, sitting here in my chair in Colorado. So
well,
all right.
That makes me think too that if others want to post any kind of feedback that any of their experiences, you can do that on the. I guess we can continue to use that event page for now. Can we?
Yes, we will continue to use the event page, and also for those of you who sign up for the Honoring Persephone, a Mythic Journey to Heal the Mother-Daughter Wound, we will be having a private Facebook for all of our sharing and creating community together. So we look forward to seeing you there. So thank you very much for joining us, and until next time.
Yeah,
bye.
Definitely. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.